Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Diane Whiddon, and I am so delighted today to have Christy Price with me. Christy Price is another veteran web designer. She started out in WordPress just like I did, then saw the light, moved to Squarespace. And today we are going to talk about AI because she's another forward-thinking human, and she's been out there in the trenches with it too, trying to figure out what works, what doesn't. And so we're going to talk about how it affects web design and, life and everything else. So, all right, Christy, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm really excited for this conversation because I think we've all been delving into AI in different ways, and we're at the point where we're just kind of learning from each other what's working and what's not working. And I know you are way ahead of me in terms of using it visually. And that's not something that I've really delved into. So excited to hear more about that, but also just kind of talk through how we're using it in our workflows today for web design clients, kind of where it can fill in gaps and make things easier for us. So, really excited to chat about all that today.
Awesome. Oh, I love it. So great. So very cool. We always have fun when we talk. So I'm super excited for this
Yeah,
too. This is great.
yeah.
So here's my first question for you.
Mhm,
So, in terms of AI, so the big question that's on everybody's minds when anybody starts
mhm,
talking about AI,
mhm.
what's it going to do to the web design industry? Are we
Yeah.
done? Are we going to be out of business in 2 years? What do you think?
It's definitely changing the web design industry, right? So there are so many AI tools out there, AI website builders, but I think that what I've been seeing is that, we're all plugging things into AI, we're getting things out. The key into getting good things, it's like garbage in, garbage out, right? So you put something in and then you get something out that maybe is not right. So even if we were to transition to a world where we use AI as part of the framework for building websites, you would still need somebody who knows how to prompt it the right way to get the best result. So, maybe 10 years from now, we won't be, you know, putting blocks in Squarespace and, there'll be a tool that creates that for us. But there's going to have to be an expert that knows how to talk to the tool that's doing that. So I feel like, yeah, things are going to change, but I think there's always going to be a space that an expert needs to fill that gap between AI and a consumer who is not really used to using it in that way.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I've really been struck by lately, I was having this conversation with another designer about how I used to just always go to Google search for everything, and then I started going to ChatGPT to ask questions. But honestly, what I've started doing lately is going to Reddit because that's where the people are. And
Yeah.
I want to know what people think. I don't want to know what the probabilistic answer is from ChatGPT or Google because that's what it's giving me these days.
Right.
I want to, it's like the little mermaid. I want to be where the people are. So I've been finding myself like drawn to forums like Reddit where there are real humans showing up and sharing their real stories. And I think that that's something that, as we use more of these AI tools and we spend time with them, we crave that human connection because that's what we're missing.
Yeah. Oh, I love that you brought that up because I think that's such a good because I've been doing the same thing. I literally
Mhm.
just last night I was looking up something and I can't remember what it was now, but I was like, I know I don't want to go to Google. I'm not interested
Yeah.
in what ChatGPT says. I'm not interested in the mathing. Like I want to know what people are actually using. I want to know what's really working and
Mhm.
I want real experience and I want real reviews and I want to talk to other humans who are doing this.
Yes.
And Reddit is great for that. And it's so
Mhm.
interesting because so a year and a half ago, when I first started doing all of this stuff, there were
Mhm.
no resources like that. Like you
No.
couldn't Google, you couldn't, there was no,
Yeah.
you couldn't look up what's new in AI today because, the AI didn't
Yeah.
know and Google didn't know and there weren't any resources. And so
Mhm.
you were forced to go to Discord to talk to
Mhm.
other people who you knew were in these communities of like the apps that were being developed and stuff.
Right.
And I see that expanding out lately. I have seen that expanding out into Reddit.
Mhm.
So I love that you brought that up because I think that's a really good, I think that's just spot on for like a
Yeah.
place to go for really reliable, good information, practical
Mhm.
information.
Yes, yeah. I'm curious what your thoughts are about web design and AI too. Are we still gonna have jobs? What do you think?
I really agree with you. And I think what you said is spot on. I mean, of course, I've had my moments where I tumble down into despair. We're done. We're toast. I mean, I spend 10 minutes on Replit and like I start to sweat. I'm like, oh my God, we're finished. Um, but I think you're right. From what I can see, there are going to have to be people who know how to use the AI because,
Mhm.
as you and I have talked about before, the AI is just mathing. That's all
Right.
it's doing. It has
Yeah.
no judgment. It like,
No
it
creativity.
no creativity,
Mm-mm.
none, right? And so it has this tremendous knowledge. I was just listening to the godfather of AI was talking on this YouTube channel, and he was saying that when AI gets more intelligent than us. And I
Mhm.
was like, I don't like that word. That's
Mm-mm.
attributing a personification to it that I really don't
Mhm.
think it has. It's never going to be more intelligent than us. It doesn't have intelligence. It
Mm-mm.
might be way more knowledgeable and be
Mhm.
able to draw patterns from different things that are going to
Right.
blow our minds. I mean, it might be amazing, but it's again, I just intelligence, is it going to have that? So what that means at the end of the day, like to your point, you're going to need people who can talk to the AI and
Mhm.
get the results that we want from the AI using
Mhm.
our human
Mhm.
creativity and human judgment. And there's so much AI content out there where people are just creating things, and it's like they're like, look what AI can do, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool,
Mhm.
but now where's the practical?
Right.
It's cool that it can do this thing, whatever this thing is. I mean, it can
Mhm.
create these amazing images or create this amazing video or,
Mhm.
create a nurture sequence in 3 seconds, and it can do all these amazing things. But it's when you apply it to a specific business to get a specific result that it breaks like that.
Mhm.
And you
Mhm.
have to have more skill than just throwing some random prompt at the AI to get it to work for that business to achieve a
Right.
specific result. I think that's really where the
Yeah.
new skill is coming in. And so to your point, that was a long way around, but to your point, I
Mhm.
think I think you're right that knowing how to talk to the AI
Mhm.
is going to be critical moving forward.
Yeah, and I think there's some discernment, that we have. So, I mean, Squarespace has this tool that I think it's a really fast way for folks to start a website. It's called, the AI Blueprint tool. I can't remember what it's called, but something like that, AI Blueprint. And it's not AI at all from what I can tell. It's basically like, do you need an about page? Yep, here you go. Here's one. Pick one of these two. And so I feel like there is a place where people are just like slapping AI labels on things
Yeah.
and it's not truly AI. And so just kind of understanding what those tools are. And so hopefully Squarespace is going to roll out an AI builder. That would be really helpful. I think it would be a time saver for a lot of people,
Mhm.
but I do think you still need to understand, how web design works and how marketing works and how to sell to people and how to get people involved in your content. And I think that's going to take a touch of humanity to do well.
For sure, right?
Mhm.
And the other thing is, I don't stop using AI for AI's sake. That doesn't
Yeah.
help either. Like,
Yeah.
does Squarespace need an AI builder? I mean, just pick out a pretty template. Like, you've
Yeah.
got to make sure that making an AI builder is
Mhm.
adding substantive value and actually helping the end user. And like you
Mhm.
said, their AI builder, I don't think it's super helpful. I don't think it gives a
No.
better experience than just
No,
shopping
I
for a pretty template.
right, right. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm really
interesting.
yeah, and I'm curious too about just like, in business or in life, kind of what are your top 3 AI tools that you're using right now?
I love that. So, chat has become my go-to. I was really loving Claude for a while.
Oh my goodness, same experience.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you talk, but yeah, I wanna pick up that thread because I was all in on Claude. I'm currently paying for both of them because I had a year subscription to Claude, had to use ChatGPT for some reason, like Claude was down or was slow or something.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, "Oh, this has improved drastically." Okay, I wanna hear about
Right.
your experience. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, so yeah, Chat came out with their image gen last month,
Mhm.
and it broke
Mhm.
the internet, and like apparently actually melted their processors. Like so many people were using it that like their processors melted. It's like wow. unreal. So they came out with the
Yeah.
image gen, and so, but you have to pay for chat to have access to that. And I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
well, if I'm going to pay for it, because I got the Claude put out a sale. Claude put out a sale on their annual membership right before chat did that. And I'm like,
Mhm.
that was strategic. They knew what was
Mhm.
coming. So,
Yep.
so I moved over to chat to play around with some image gen, uh, and a friend of mine in another group, an AI for Women
Mhm.
group, was like, "Chat's just got it down right now." And I was like, "Really? Like,
Mhm.
what do you mean?" And she goes, "Chat's just giving better results." And I'm like, "Well, because 6 months ago it was crap." And I'm like,
Yes.
"Okay, right."
Yeah.
So I fed in my brand document and fed in
Mhm.
my stuff, and I'm like, "Okay," so gave it my website. "Okay, so now you know who I am. Write out whatever it was, probably social media posts or something."
Mhm. Yep.
It was and I was like, "Oh,
Yep.
this is a new thing." And actually, this was like a month ago because this was when I just had the idea to create my course. And I
Mhm.
was like, "Okay, let's brainstorm." Created a project, and I'm like, "I'm gonna launch a course in 3 weeks. It's gonna be on
Mhm.
this topic. How would you position it?" And because I had put in the foundational documents, like
Mhm.
with the shortest, easiest, quickest of prompts, it spat out like, "Oh, here's your whole map. Here's how you're going to launch it. Here's what you're going to do." And I followed it. And I should do a workshop just on this. I
Mhm.
should talk about this process. But anyway, and I was blown away. So chat is kind of my number one. I have kept trying to go back to Claude for content,
Yeah.
writing.
Yep.
It's
Mhm.
not getting it done.
I Same experience. So I was a huge fan of Claude. I mean, I had personified her. She was my VA who lived in France. Um, she was lovely. I mean, I adored Claude and I felt like she was such a help to me. And then there was that moment where I think she was slow or she was probably on a smoke break. I don't know. But I hopped over to ChatGPT to ask it something and the output it was similar to the things I was asking Claude, but the output was so much better. And like you, what I did was then I spent some time like feeding the beast, right? I'm just giving it like, here's my website, here's some transcripts of things of talks that I've given. So it knows how I sound. And it just gets better and better. Like the more it knows about you, the better it gets. So last week I was at Craft and Commerce in Boise, Idaho. So a conference, 2-day conference. And one of the workshops was about creating a low cost membership. So Liz Wilcox, who has her email marketing membership, gave the workshop. And I was just following along and people were brainstorming and I was brainstorming with chat gpt and had a sales page and had welcome sequence emails, had sales emails, I mean everything within the span of that hour-long workshop. It was just all laid out. Now I don't know if I'm going to do the membership, but if I do, it's there. And it was like 90% there without me fiddling with it. And so good enough that I would just take what it gave me, pop it into another doc and make a few edits. I mean, it was so close to what I would have created and it would have taken me so long to do that on my own. So, yeah, like you, I've moved. I rarely use Claude now, and I kind of miss her, because like I said, I personified her. But I really see leaning into ChatGPT more and more. Another thing that I'm doing is I'm working on a custom GPT to go along with my web designer's playbook course.
Okay.
So I get people who are, they're in the process of taking the course, but they're working with clients and they just need quick answers instead of having to take the entire course. So giving them an extra resource where they can just ask questions based on just the course content.
Mhm.
So, it's everything that I've taught, but they can ask it questions.
Mhm.
So I'm just, I'm so excited about where that's going too. It's been really great. Okay. So we're both using ChatGPT. What's your second?
I just want to say really quickly, I
Uh-huh.
love that you're doing a GPT for that because I've thought about doing that same thing. I've created a
Uh-huh.
lot of little mini GPTs
Mhm.
for like really
Mhm.
specific targeted things that are in my
Yeah.
course too. But
Uh-huh.
I have thought that of like, I just want somewhere people could go to ask all of the questions, especially I've got so much branding content and like
Yeah.
if I could it's just, yeah, such a good thing. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, so ChatGPT is my number one. Midjourney is probably still my number two.
Mhm.
I use it at least daily, I would say. I'm still creating. I create client images on it and stock images all the time. I never go to Unsplash anymore. I never do any of that stuff anymore. So yeah, Midjourney is probably my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah,
Second
you did
favorite.
an amazing walkthrough for my channel a while back on how you're using Midjourney, and it was astonishing what you could create. And but again, it came down to your prompting. Like
Yeah.
you had to have the right prompts, and you generously shared that with on the video. So we should drop a link. If you're
Yeah.
watching the recording, we'll drop a
Oh, yeah,
link to
yeah,
that.
yeah. That's a good idea. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'll
Yeah.
make sure it's in the description too, the link, because if you click on Christie's, there's the link to the video where I walk through the
Mhm,
thing, but then I also
mhm.
have, like she said, all the prompts and the workbook basically that goes along with it. So,
Actually, I'm gonna
oh, really cool.
drop, if anyone is watching live, I'm gonna just drop a little link here. So Diane's AI images for web design. Okay.
Yeah.
There is a link that I dropped into. All right.
Cool.
Yeah, so Midjourney is not one that I mean, after I saw what you were doing with it, I need to devote some time to working with that and figuring it out on my own. But yeah, I mean, just what you showed us on that webinar, just the brand photos for the website, just backgrounds and just stunning, stunning. And I know you also have a system for creating really amazing like AI headshots of yourself and things
Yeah.
like that, which I mean, I know that is like a whole other level beyond what you taught us, but I just I mean, I think I pulled one for, for you to use in my thumbnail and
Yeah. Yeah.
it looks like you.
Yeah, I know, right? They're
Mhm,
amazing. It's really cool. Yeah. And I use Midjourney for that sometimes still too, but I do have some other tools that
mhm.
work really well.
Okay.
But Midjourney is just my go-to. It's just got
Mhm,
so much it's just got so much versatility, and like you were saying, when you know how to prompt in it and you know
mhm,
how to work with it, it makes your life so much easier, and it's so much faster to create the
mhm.
images you want than it is to like search endlessly in all the stock photos.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's very cool. And Polly's here. Polly says, love hearing you two powerhouses discuss this. Awesome. Yay. I'm so
Hi,
glad you're
Polly.
here.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. Let
Yeah.
us know if you have any questions as we go
Yeah.
along.
Yeah. Curious to hear what you guys are thinking too. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So what's your number three? Or what's your number two, actually?
So I've been using Write Blogger a ton.
Oh,
And
really?
so what I found is that it is the best tool I found for being able to take a YouTube video that I've created and turn it into a first pass of a blog post that stays true to the video and sounds like me because it's set up to do things that are just like that. So
Yeah.
I've been really loving it for that, for generating really great YouTube descriptions and doing the timestamps and all that stuff for me.
Mhm.
Um, Blog posts in general, it does a really nice job of helping you kick that off, even to the extent that it will include like links to your other content that makes sense. So it's like crawling your site and finding relevant content to include links to. So it's building that kind of awareness for, humans or bots that are visiting, and
Yeah.
also backlinks to high domain authority websites where that's appropriate. So just
Mhm.
really not, I mean, it's an SEO tool. It's really, Right Blogger is built to be an SEO tool for bloggers, for content creators in general. And I've really loved using it. And I can drop a link below for it too. But one of
Yeah.
my favorite things about it is if you sign up for an annual plan, you get a short call with one of the founders whose name is Ryan.
Mhm. Yeah.
And when I signed up, this was, goodness, year and a half, 2 years ago. Um, I'm like, well, I don't really know this guy, but I'll sign up and just see, how it goes. And I came away from that call with actionable information to improve my ranking, and two, with this really great feeling. about what just happened on that call. And I was thinking, that's how I want my clients to feel after they get off a call with me. Like, how can I translate what we did into creating the same feeling when clients work with me? It was just such a great call. So if you do sign up for Right Blogger, definitely book a call with Ryan. It will make your day, your week, your month, your year. I don't know, but it was really great. And I think too, like as we're talking about AI, that was my favorite moment, was the humanity, was
Oh, right.
talking to another human about it, a human who understood marketing and business, but who was a real person and not a robot. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. I
Mhm.
just want to give a little quick shout out to
Mhm.
Ryan and Andy. They
Yeah.
understand the cool thing about Right Blogger is that the two founders, the two guys who created it,
Mhm.
understand, like Christy was saying, like understand SEO
Mhm.
and writing so
Mhm.
well because they were both
Yes.
bloggers. I mean, that's where they, made all their fame and everything was through
Mhm.
writing and blogging. And so you're right, like they've just created this amazing tool. It's so cool. It's really built for writers, really built for blogging, really built for SEO. And Ryan is just lovely. You're in the Discord, right?
I am, and
Yeah.
Andy's funny.
Yeah.
Andy is so funny. I've never been on a call with him, but, Andy, if you're watching, let's have a
Yes, we
call.
love you both. Yeah, they're both really amazing. Yeah, very, very cool guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good tool. The thing that blew me away about that tool in
Mhm.
particular is that ability to, okay, this is what you're writing about. We're gonna give us your website, and now we're gonna
Mhm.
pull any relevant links and
Yes. Yeah,
tie
yeah.
that into the content for this blog
Mhm.
post. That
Yes.
is, I never do that because I never
Mhm.
make the effort to do that. And the fact that it
Yes.
would just do it automatically is
Mhm.
amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really I love that tool. It's definitely up there for me. Um, what's your 3rd one?
I'm trying to think of a third one. I honestly can't come up with a third one. You
I'll
know
I wanna give a shout out to StreamYard that we're using right now. So I use that in my
Oh,
business as well.
uh-huh.
And prior to using StreamYard, I used Riverside FM,
Mm,
and it was okay. It was okay.
mhm.
And it would give you these clips afterwards, these AI generated clips of your conversation. And I swear it was like, I'd look at those and be like, one, what is my face doing? I mean, like, I know I have an expressive face, but there have to be moments where I don't look like that. And then the clips were like not relevant, or I don't know.
Mhm.
But StreamYard, I don't know what analytics they're using to generate those clips, but my goodness, the AI clips that it generates, the shorts are so good.
Oh, how cool.
Mhm.
Okay, well, I haven't even tried that in StreamYard yet, so that's gonna be my
Yeah.
homework for this call. Yay. That's
um,
awesome. Okay, so anything
yeah.
else about StreamYard? I mean, I love StreamYard too. Like,
I,
ugh,
I,
love this
but in
platform.
that same vein, I actually recently bought Opus Clip as well, because there
Yeah,
are things that I record that aren't through StreamYard. And Opus Clip is so simple and easy to generate really high quality clips, to repurpose your long form content into shorts.
yeah.
And it's something that I know that I need to work on for my YouTube channel. So I don't know if you've been following along with my YouTube journey, but like
I
it's been
have. I was looking the other day. I'm like, look at it. You've got all these short, like your whole channel. So you're doing lives all the time now. It's
thanks.
very
Yeah.
robust.
Thank you. Yeah, so it was, yeah, I'm gonna do a video about this, but it was basically 14 months of solid, consistent effort, and then my channel got monetized. So, super excited. I was expecting, like, I'll be able to get myself a very fancy coffee, with
Yeah.
this, ad revenue. And granted, I've only been monetized for a couple months now, so I don't know if this how this is long term, but I'm making, like, $700 a month in ad revenue. I know, right? Like, I did not see that coming, and I'm like, I need to create content around that because I did not know what to expect. And
Yeah.
I think there were moments where I would have almost given up. Becca Harpain from Inside the Square is a friend
Yeah.
of mine, and she would encourage me to keep going. But if it weren't for her, I think I would have given up. But if I'd seen videos and people were like, yeah, if you just keep going a few more months, you might get $700 a month in ad revenue. I think I would have, it would have really helped me to keep going, to keep creating content that I thought people were finding valuable, because it is a long 14 months is a long time to create content. for not much payoff. And I was getting signals to keep going, but yeah, so that was big. So Opus Clip was one that I'm like, I really need to figure out shorts. I don't know what I'm doing there. I'm just going to start dropping things in and letting it do the hard work for me.
Yeah.
So our previous conversation is actually one that I used. You probably saw those.
Yes. Yeah.
In Opus Clip, because it was a good combo. And I'm like, well, that one makes sense. So yeah. So
That's
Opus Clip
awesome.
is my, like, StreamYard and Opus Clip are probably tied for third for that
Okay.
same reason.
Okay, cool. That's
Yeah.
really interesting. I use Opus Clip and I do like it.
Mhm.
I agree with
Mhm.
you. I love how simple it is to use.
Uh-huh.
You could just pick it up and go get running with it immediately,
Mhm.
especially if you're creating long form content like this.
Yes.
And you need both to do well in a YouTube channel. So
Yeah.
if you're creating long form content, Opus Clip
Mhm.
is like just a shortcut to be able to get into shorts and stuff. So
Mhm.
that's really good. I will say, you know what, and that inspired me. I know what my third one is. My third
Uh-huh.
one is the script.
Oh,
That
yes. Yes. Okay. That's
right.
probably my third too. Sorry, StreamYard and Opus Clip. Yeah. Yeah.
Their new AI tool, what do they call it? Overlord or
Underlord.
Underlord?
Underlord. Not Overlord. Underlord. Such a good name.
It's so cute. Um, but it's amazing. I was messing around with it just last night because I posted another conversation that I had with Cara Wolf. She's another
Mhm.
Squarespace web designer,
Yeah.
and we walked through my process, my like stock photo creation process in Midjourney. Like we
Yeah.
did it. I was like pointing on her screen. I'm like, do this, do that. So, but there was, and I didn't want to lose that content of the,
Mhm.
okay, click on this. Okay, click on that. Yeah, no. Okay,
Mhm.
click on that. Like because I was walking her through Midjourney, but there was a
Yeah.
lot of like waiting and you mean this? No, this. I don't know. Well, there was a lot of that in the video. And
Mhm.
I was like, okay, probably their AI is good enough to get rid of most of that without cutting out too much of the
Mhm.
substance.
Mhm.
But there's a little slider. That's genius. It's like you can tell the AI like really edit it, like because it's
Mhm.
like smart editing. I think they call it clean
Mhm.
editing or something.
Mhm.
And they take out all the ums and stuff, which is fine. That's easy
Mhm.
enough. But like for context, it could take out side jaunts and like random things we said, any duplicate anything, of course. And
Yeah.
I was shocked at how well it did
Mhm.
because I experimented. I was like, all right, let's
Mhm.
see how good you are. And I did one with it really low, one with it medium, one with it
Mhm.
high.
Mhm.
And I was like, I totally can see how I would use this on different videos and a
Mhm.
huge time save. Huge. I can't rave about it enough. I was astounded.
So, yeah, I use some of those, but I haven't done, like, the overall just like, "Hey, clean it up."
Yeah.
I'm excited to try that. I've been hesitant, but I'll give it a try now.
And you can
I'm
direct it.
Yeah.
Oops. Oh. Oh, my machine just like my monitor blinked for some reason.
Oh.
There's a
Or
storm. There's a storm outside.
Oh,
So
okay.
if I go away, I'll come right back
Okay.
just in
Alright.
case.
I'll just chat.
There you go. Share your screen, show people something.
Yeah.
Yay tech. Uh, yeah, yeah, and you can direct it. You can
Mhm.
say, edit this for these points, take out
Mhm.
this stuff, focus on these issues, focus on this topic, and it will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Used. So anyway, really cool. Oh, and Megan's here. Woohoo! Right
Megan.
Blogger. Yeah, Megan's a
Yes. All
really
the love
big.
for Right Blogger. Love it.
Yes. Yes.
Um, yeah, I love to script too, and that's what I used to record my course. So it was
Mm,
really helpful with that, and it's what I used to do my YouTube videos too. So yeah, lots of love
awesome.
for Descript.
Yeah.
Um, one other question I had for you.
Yeah.
How are you using or not using AI on your website projects for clients?
Oh man.
I know you're doing the images for them, the brand images. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, how much should I share I literally just made a website for a client and the whole thing was AI, beginning to end. Like I was looking at it afterwards and I'm like, every image is AI,
Mhm,
all the copy is AI. I
mhm,
sent her stuff. So, of course, part of what we have to do is blow the client's mind. And so I'm like, here's
mhm,
your brand document.
mhm,
Um, I was going to show, do you guys want to see the site? I can show you the site.
Yeah.
Oh, let me pull it up. So yeah, we just actually launched it on Friday. So let me pick
One of the things that I'm doing is I occasionally get clients who want to do the copywriting themselves, but
really?
oh, this looks so good.
Yeah.
Yes, like, well, they don't want to pay for a copywriter, right? So that's different.
Oh, right.
Um, and I'm using AI just like you did to do a first pass of the copy for them, but I make them change. I make them edit it.
Yeah, I mean,
This
that's
looks
smart.
so good. This looks
Yeah.
so good.
Isn't this so? This is one of my templates. So this is a
Mhm,
template that I built.
mhm,
And all these images of her, it's all AI. All this,
mhm.
I'm like, I want images of Colorado because that's where she is. And it gave
Uh-huh.
me Colorado images, but all these, every image of everything, it's this image of her is AI because she was like, I
Mhm,
don't have any images of me wearing things that are in my colors. And like, she's like a real estate coach. So she's really luxe and like,
mhm.
that's what all these images and all this content, I'm
Amazing.
like, she needs an FAQ. And so what we did, so how I got her
Mhm,
stuff
mhm.
is, she, and let's see if there's anything else really. Oh, and I also created a freebie for her.
Oh,
Now,
nice.
this I did in Canva, and so I created like a 10-page freebie for
Mhm,
her, but I created all of the content for the freebie
mhm,
in AI, obviously.
mhm,
But Uh, so the interesting thing about how it worked for her is we got on the call,
mhm.
and I recorded it with Fathom. Fathom's
Yeah.
not bad. I don't
Oh,
love that. Right.
yeah. Yeah, but I've done the same thing for those clients who, like, it's time that their content's due and they don't have it. I
Mhm,
just feed our discovery call and our strategy call into ChatGPT
mhm.
and and get a first pass of content for them, and it's so much easier for them than staring at a blank page.
Yeah, because they
Yeah,
don't know how to write content, and like you said,
no.
if they don't wanna pay,
Mhm.
I'm like, "I can
I
do a
mean,
better job at this than you can. Just let me do it."
yeah, I know, and I feel like I've worked with copywriters who are so amazing. AI is never gonna replace them. Like,
Mm,
there is not a word wasted. Everything has a purpose.
yeah,
And so in my dream world, all my clients would work with those copywriters, but, that's we don't live in my dream world. Sadly, there are not
right,
unicorns here either, so
right, absolutely. But I don't do, I do discovery calls, but I don't do strategy calls with clients.
Mhm,
So I just have
mhm,
that first 15-minute call where
mhm.
they tell me basically what they want and what they're not happy with about their old site, whatever, which is
Yeah.
the most important stuff.
Mhm,
And then I usually go to their old site or if their old site doesn't really work anymore, I'll go to their social
mhm,
media. And
mhm,
I haven't really had a client yet who has 0 content. In that
mhm.
situation, I think I would force them to answer a questionnaire or something because I'm like,
Yeah.
I've gotta have something. But
Mhm,
then I fed that into the AI and created a brand document and
mhm.
then uploaded that, and that's how I got all of her website content, and she edited a few words here and there, but largely when my clients see what I do with and I really focus on writing it in their tone, voice, and style,
Yeah.
and I read it, I check it, I make sure
Yeah.
there's no
Yeah, yeah.
unlock and, up level or whatever all the AI words are, so I get all those out.
Yeah.
Um, but then, yeah, and then I was just looking at the site afterwards. I was like, wow, except for that Canva, the one Canva freebie. And now I wouldn't even create a freebie in Canva again. I would create it in
Mhm.
Gamma. Gamma. That's my number 3. Gamma. Yes. I knew I was forgetting something. I'm like, there's something I use like on every hour. What is it? It's Gamma.
Oh,
I
I
love
wanna hear about Gamma, and Wayne in the comments just said, "In that instance, I draft copy with AI as well. It's just easier for busy clients to feedback and edit than it is to sit and write." Yeah, and giving them a starting point, and they're like, "I feel aligned with this, I can run with it," or, "That's not what I wanted to say, but this is what I wanted to say." Yeah, totally agree, Wayne. Yeah.
Yep, having something to read promotes so much clarity.
Yes.
It's such a cool thing. Okay, you guys wanna see my Gamma?
Yes. Okay, tell us about Gamma. Is this what you used for the document that you created to go with the tutorial that you did on my channel earlier?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. It was
Yes.
very cool. Okay.
And now I'm using it for everything.
Mhm.
I actually used it to make my link in bio on my Instagram, and it's so pretty. It's just
Uh-huh.
lovely. Let me share my screen again. Let me see if I can. This is always Yeah. So, okay. So here's my Gamma. And
Mhm,
so this has all my course materials and everything in it too.
mhm,
But here's my landing page.
mhm.
And here's all my
So
links.
cool.
And if you click on any of the links, it
Mhm.
expands. And so, and you can have calls to action and all that stuff. And, it does all the things. And now this is technically the document. And I have a whole tutorial. If you want to see how to make this site, I have a whole tutorial on how to use
Oh, so
Gamma to make this
cool.
page. Yeah.
Nice.
Because I had such a good experience doing
Mhm,
this. And of course, all these images are AI, obviously, so it was very fun.
mhm.
But the thing I love about Gamma, is
Liz is asking, "Is there a list going by too fast?" Liz, this is totally off the cuff and just a conversation, but we will make a list for you and
yeah,
put it in the notes. So in the description, if you come back to the video,
yes,
we will get that for you.
yes, because that's a really good idea,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
So if you go and this one is set up to be a web page. So once it's a web page, it kind
Mhm,
of stays a web page because it, like,
mhm,
gets published as a web page, but let's go back to my Gamma and let's pull up something that's really fun. So
mhm.
so this is my freebie. This is how to create this is like a mini version of what I did on your channel, Christy. It's
Okay.
like an intro into how to create branded images with Midjourney.
Uh-huh.
So this is the document layout. Now I'm logged in, so that's why you're seeing like the cursor and you're seeing these over the slides and stuff over here.
Mhm.
But this is like, and you scroll and it's very pretty, and I've set the background and I've made it match my things and everything. It's very awesome and amazing. But let's say I want to use this to present to, I mean, you guys, I just say present, and it turns it into slides.
Oh, that's really nice.
And then I go to the next one. Like, what did and this is one of
Yeah,
my examples, so I
yeah.
embedded my YouTube video in here because I walk through
Mhm.
the whole process there, and then here's the other one. I mean, it's just the coolest thing ever, and it's super easy. Do you wanna create one really quickly? Because this is just so
Yeah.
fun.
While
So
you're
you
doing that too, Megan just
Sure.
gave a big shout out for your AI photo factory course in the comments. She said it's amazing, highly recommend.
Oh, thank you so much, Megan. Awesome. Yay. Oh, that's so cool. Thank you so much. Okay, so if we say create a Gamma with AI, and let's say we'll
Mhm,
generate from a one-line prompt in a few seconds. So we're
mhm.
going to make this document is my favorite because I don't know, it just makes the most sense in my
Can you
in my
can you
mind.
turn documents into other things later?
Yes.
Like you showed us
Yes.
the presentation, you could turn it into a web page later too?
Yes. Yep,
Okay,
absolutely.
cool.
Yep. And so we're gonna say um, a comprehensive list of AI resources, and let's see what it does. So it's gonna generate the outline first.
Uh-huh. Oh, and
Overview
Polly
of
is loving your class too. So,
oh, yay,
your
yes,
AI
yes,
photo factory course.
yes,
Awesome.
Polly's in there, yes. Okay, so it made 8 cards, a
Oh,
comprehensive
wow.
list of AI resources, overview of modern AI landscape and the importance of curated tools, AI tool
Mhm,
category. Okay, so it's got all kinds of stuff in here, right?
mhm.
So we're like, this is fine. Okay. So, and now we're going to get to customize it. Oh, they've changed this a little bit. Okay. So the key here is when you're creating a Gamma, you really want to make sure you pick the right theme because it's going to generate images based on the theme that you choose. You don't
Ah,
want to change that later. So let's
uh-huh.
save you more and really pick a good theme.
Got
And
it.
now, of course, I have my custom theme. So of course I've made
Mhm.
one. I've made two actually, that
Nice.
match. But we're just gonna pick something that looks fun and kind of interesting. Oh, how about like pink and rainbow and oh sure, why not?
That looks very AI-ish. Love
It
it.
does, right? Yeah. Okay, and so we could say amount per card. I actually picked
Mhm,
detailed. I probably would have picked medium, but that's fine. And
mhm.
then we can add more image style. So like in here, I have a prompt for like, make it kind of blurry and like urban and like
Uh-huh.
Chicago and things like that. So you can put in terms that, match your brand and stuff. And then it's just
Oh,
gonna
this
take it,
looks
it's gonna write it.
so cool. Look at that. Look at the header banner it made.
Right, right.
I love it. So cool.
And it's going to do that. It's going to do that all the way down. So it's giving us a lot of content, which again, I kind of wish I had told it not to do, but
It's
because
okay.
it's
I
going to
mean,
give
we're
us like
getting
a lot of words.
yeah, we're getting a good feel for what it's like. This is so cool. Thanks for sharing it.
Yes, yes. And
Yeah.
we'll have to come back and see. And so I can't close the tab while generation is in process.
Yeah.
So we'll come back to it. But
Yeah.
if you have anything that's like bullets or that's like data or chart or anything like that, it'll format it like in a circle graph or a bar graph. And all. Oh, did you see the web design survey that Caitlin and I did? That
Yeah.
report?
Yeah. Yeah. That
That's a
was in
gamma.
Gamma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It looked really good. Yeah. We should drop a link for that too, because I think a lot of people here are web designers. So yeah, it was a really interesting survey.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll drop a link for that too. All right. One other question for you before
Oh,
we
sure.
go back and check on see what Game is doing. What
Mhm.
AI tools have you not tried that you want to play with?
Oh my gosh, that's a really long list.
Top
That's
two or top
so,
one. Let's just do top one.
mm, um, I don't even know if I could come up with names off the top of my head.
Mhm.
There's a video gen tool. I love all the video gens. I'm
Uh-huh.
fascinated by them, but there's a big learning curve with them.
Mhm.
I'm a really big fan of image to video generation because
Uh-huh.
I've created so many images.
Mhm.
And I just want B-roll. That's what I'm wanting is like
Yeah.
I have no interest in going to downtown Chicago and like filming me in front of the river and then like putting a
Yeah.
caption. Like I'm just not going to do that.
Yeah.
But I could create B-roll of me
Mhm.
standing in front of the Chicago River and like, kind of like the wind just blowing in my hair.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested. My mouse is moving. Why is my mouse moving? That feels strange. Who's in my computer? Um, so my phone just got hacked yesterday, so I'm a little
You're on high alert. Got
I am a
it.
little bit. But anyway, so any and all of the video gens I'm really interested in, especially anything that would
Mhm.
help create that B-roll content and help create like that visual
Mhm.
interest that can still be branded to your brand. Because I
Mhm.
think that's just such low hanging fruit for content
Mhm.
creators right now.
Mhm.
So that's my number one. Yeah. How about
Mhm.
you?
I really want to play with Lovable or Windsurf, which are two apps that will create, web-based apps for you or websites. Even
Mhm.
I'm just really curious to see, I have ideas for apps and then I'm like, but I don't want to learn to code an app. But you don't have to anymore. You can
Right.
just play in Lovable or Windsurf. And those are the two that I've heard of. I'm sure there are other ones out there that do the same thing, but I definitely want to carve out some time in the next few months to play.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Me too. Look into Replit also.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of Replit too. Yes,
So
yes.
look into Replit. And then there's
Mhm,
a new one that I've just heard really amazing things around actually
mhm,
on Reddit. I
mhm.
think it's called Creative Mixer, Magic Mixer.
Oh, I don't know that one. Okay.
I'll get the name right. I'll look up the link and I'll make sure to add that to our list of resources that we
Yes,
will compile for everyone and put in the
very
description.
cool. Will we
Yeah.
compile it in Gamma? Who knows?
Right. We don't know. Okay, so let's go back and see on that note. So let's go back and see
Yeah.
what Gamma has created for us. Uh,
Is it still talking? Oh, it's
no, it
done.
should be done. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, look at your chart.
Oh, did it make a chart? So I
It
just
made a
wanted to go to the top so
chart.
we could scroll down. So it's
Yes,
and it
sorry. I got very excited by the icons and the chart and the images.
see, so and it takes the content, yeah, and it
Mhm,
adds images and it breaks up the content.
mhm.
That's kind of fun. And it makes it all match. It makes it all
Yeah.
match the thing that you've chosen. No code tools with free plans. And I
Ooh,
mean, who knows if if any of these are even accurate, but this is an
yeah.
interesting. Oh, and look, it made a timeline.
Oh, yeah. That looks really cool.
And you can just click in these and change them. I mean, it just works like any
Yeah.
kind of drag and drop builder. So let's keep
Uh-huh.
going. And it did create
There
a
was
ton of.
there was the chart that I was enamored by.
Oh,
Very
where was it?
cool.
And
Oh,
where's
up a little bit.
oh,
Yeah.
that one?
Yes. So cool.
I mean, right? I just love that it does this kind of stuff. And it would have done more if I had picked medium content instead of long. But I mean, the
Yeah.
fact that you can even do that. And then of course you can drag and drop these,
Hmm.
and it works very similar to Notion that you can like put this in and then say, put a button here or,
Hmm.
whatever. So
So,
really cool tool.
how much can you do on the free plan of Gamma?
I think all of this, I think the thing that the free plan limits you to is 10 cards, and this one only has 8 cards. Now I have
Hmm.
created things that have like 30 cards,
Yeah.
but you're limited in the number of cards that you can create, and you're
Hmm.
limited in uh, a little bit of functionality. So there's
Hmm.
some AI stuff that you can't do on the
Hmm.
lower plans, like some images that you can't. Let's
But
look at one of the
definitely
images.
enough to play with it and get a real feel for it to
For
decide if you want to
sure.
subscribe. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The free plan is the perfect place to get it in play and do stuff. And so if I
Hmm.
click on an image and then let's click on, it looks like they've actually changed stuff since the last I was in here. Um, uh, Maybe it changed things a lot. I was in here like literally 3 days ago. What are
That's
you
how I feel with
doing?
Squarespace when I'm working with clients. And it's like, I was here yesterday and the menu was right here. I promise.
I know. I did that with a client too. I felt so silly. I was like, okay, let's say edit. I bet that's going to bring it up. Okay. So you can change the prompt and
Hmm.
you can pull up something else. It's going to have all the other images it created to this
Oh,
gamma.
nice.
So you can choose any of those if you want to. You can
Hmm.
create something new, and you can say, you can upload your own. So these
Hmm.
are images that were in the theme, but you can also upload other images that you can always pull from, or you can
Hmm.
upload like just for this one particular thing, you can upload your own images. You can also search the web and Unsplash and all those too, but
Hmm.
I never use those. So kind of cool, huh?
It's very cool.
I know.
I
I
just
like
think
it.
about how much time we save these days by using these tools. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. I think when the first time I mentioned AI tools in my newsletter, I got an email back from someone saying she was really disappointed in me for talking about AI. And
Mm,
I was curious about that. And so for her, I think it was the environmental impact, especially. And so I did some like deep diving into that to make myself feel better, I think. But basically, what I came away with, like what I'm using it for, what you're using it for, it is nothing. I mean, like big data is the one
mhm.
who's driving all of the energy in those data centers. And so you and I are not even a drop in the bucket. We're like
Right.
nothing. So
Right.
so I
That's
felt a
true.
little better about that. But yeah, it's really interesting. You were talking about like the processors overheating and just like melting. It's just, I mean, just all of that parallel processing that's happening with all those chips. And I imagine they're trying to get the chips like as close together as they can
Mhm.
so that you're not losing any data. So it's just all packed in there. I can't
Yeah.
imagine what it must be to be in one of those centers and how to keep it cool. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's a whole
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, the water, that's like one of the
Hmm.
biggest things they talk about is like the water consumption to keep them all
Yeah.
cooled and everything. So what's your take on the copyright piece? And because
Hmm.
Disney's just suing Midjourney now, and so that's gonna be a landmark case for sure. It's gonna shape the way things
Yeah.
move forward. What's your take on that in terms of like artists and things like that? Have you thought about it?
I have. I've thought about it quite a bit. And I think that it's really hard to figure out where that line is. I mean, I was thinking about like when everybody was creating like the Studio Ghibli characters of
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah.
And I love Studio Ghibli movies. Like those are like Totoro, all of those are something that are near and dear to me. And it was so cool to see everybody creating themselves that look like a character. But at the same time, I was like, where do we draw the line? Like somebody could use AI just to make a new knockoff movie. And
And art.
it's just, yeah, yeah. And I don't know. I don't know where that line is. I think that there's imitation and flattery. And then there's also just outright, I'm stealing something you created and using it for my own.
Yeah.
Which is it's tough. It's tough to know where that is. Even like we're both web designers. I used to run Copyscape on my website a couple times a year and see people who had taken my content and just stuck it on their own site without so much as editing it. People were even using affiliate links that were mine. And I'm like, maybe I would have left that if you were generating any income, but no. But at that point, it's just like, ouch,
Yeah.
that was mine. That was from my brain. It hurts. So yeah, I mean, I've been on the end of that, and it's not fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same. I mean, I've had people copy and steal my work for years, and
Hmm.
I'm such a small business owner. I never have kicked up a fuss or anything, but it's just
Hmm.
one of those things of like, man, that kind of sucks. And there's definitely a lot of like, and a lot of what people are doing
Hmm.
with AI, like you said, people are just like stealing characters and creating movies of their
Hmm.
own and stealing other
Hmm.
people's IP. Like somebody thought up what Iron Man looks like and like what his, you
Yeah.
know, costume and like the whole thing. And
Hmm.
plugging into ChatGPT, create a LinkedIn post that sounds like it comes from like it's in the voice of Iron Man. I'm like,
Hmm.
that's one thing. But
Hmm.
when you start to like steal the likeness of an illustrated character and so yeah, so I'm the same. I'm of the same mind. I'm like, there's a
Yeah.
lot about it that it's like, yeah, that's not great. And
Yeah.
also, if we don't stay on, I really firmly 100% believe that if we don't stay on top of it, we're going to get rolled over. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to get educated. I want my people to be educated. I want us to know
Hmm.
about this tech and what's coming.
Hmm.
And so I'm kind of like, there are things that we do. There are things I teach. I'm getting ready to do an ethics module next month, and there are things I'm
Hmm.
going to teach of like, don't just if you're going to put a prompt in Midjourney, don't say, give me a painting in the style of Andy Warhol.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
give me a painting in the style of Andy Warhol and Claude Monet. Okay,
Yeah.
now we're being creative, right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
there's some ways where you can use the tools, I think, and sleep better at night.
Hmm.
And then, yeah, like, build a tree, plant a tree, where you can,
Yeah.
and that kind of thing to offset the
Yeah.
environment. But yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
very
I
cool.
mean, it's definitely something that it's so new and so rapidly changing
Mhm.
that I think we are all learning as we go.
Yeah,
And it's great to learn from people who are a few steps ahead of you on things
yeah,
like this, like you with the image generation. It's incredible. But I also feel like we have some responsibility, as humans to use it for good and not evil. So
yep.
hopefully that's how it'll go.
Yep, I know, right, and just making it part of the conversation, I think is
Mhm.
important. And, so I wanna Gigi Louise commented, she said, "Hi, Diane, sorry I missed this, I meant to get it earlier, but I'm watching the replay." Girl, you're with us live.
You're live.
This is the replay? You're with us. You're here. This is fabulous. And I love this. Megan says, "Gonna need to change Buy Me a Coffee to buy me more AI tools." That is true.
So
That is
true.
it. Yes. Okay, so last question before we break.
Mhm.
So do you have like one or two or three of like your favorite little like hacks that you use with an AI tool, like something fun or interesting that just gives you just a little bit better output?
Yeah. So one of the things that I've been playing around with in ChatGPT is to learn from it as well as just prompting it. So if I'm working on a sales page, I will ask it about like what marketing, like what cognitive marketing should I look at here? Like what are different kinds of marketing that I could choose to do? What would that look like in the context of the sales page? And then like pick one that feels aligned to you. And it's like, okay, this is what we're going to go with. Tell me more about this. Write it in the style of this. So using it as kind of an educational tool as I'm creating with it has been really, really helpful. So whenever I'm asking it to do something, I'll kind of ask for background on it. Like, tell me more about, you know, how do YouTube descriptions work best in 2025? Like, what are you seeing, ChatGPT? What is the algorithm like right now? And then, like, let's use that information to help write ours. So, just using it not just to generate, but also to provide some education.
I love that. That's genius and such a good point, such a good full circle moment from what we were talking about at the very beginning,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that's a good way to give yourself a little more education and context so that you
Hmm.
can work with the AI better on the task that
Yeah,
you're working on. Genius.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you. How about you? Any tips or tricks you want to share?
I just recently learned one someone shared to put into, because the thing about chat in particular, Claude is not as bad about this. So if anybody doesn't know, Claude does not hallucinate nearly as bad as chat.
Mhm,
It's a more creative thinker, but it
mhm.
hallucinates less. Chat is much more linear and like rational. But it tends to make stuff up. Um, and I have a whole thing about that too. I need to I need to actually make a freebie. Oh, maybe me and Gamma will make a freebie on how to get chat to stop
Yeah,
hallucinating and how to prompt for
yeah.
that. But the cooler thing that I learned just very recently is that because chat is so linear and reasonable and it learns
Mhm,
so well now and has such a good
mhm.
memory now, you can get stuck in an echo chamber. And so it'll just
Yeah,
keep giving you content that
yeah.
it thinks that you want.
Mhm,
And so one of the things that they said was to go in the profile settings and
mhm.
say, one of the things that's very important to me is that you challenge my assumptions. And I want you to
Oh,
question maybe why I'm doing something. And I want you to, I forget the exact language, but it was like, I want you to question why I'm doing things and like force me to think about things and help me be creative in my thinking and think outside the box. And I was a
yeah.
little worried that that would halt the process. I was a little worried that I would put in a prompt and it would start asking me a whole
Mhm.
bunch of questions, but it hasn't done that, but it has created better output. I'm really impressed with it so far.
I'm gonna borrow that. I love it because I do feel like ChatGPT is very often a yes man. So I'm like, "What about this?" And it's like, "Great idea, Christy." I'm like, "But is it really a great idea?" So I love this prompt. So yeah, if you want to share that in the
I
notes too,
will.
I will use that myself. That is a
Awesome.
huge one. Thank you.
Yes, yes, you're
Yeah.
so welcome. Very cool. Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you everyone so much for joining us. Thanks for all the
Yeah.
great comments and questions and everything. This was a fabulous discussion. Christy, thank you so much for joining me and sharing
Thanks
your
so much.
expertise. This
Thanks
was
so much,
great.
Diane. And we'll get together and put together a list of the tools that we talked about and drop those in the descriptions for the videos. So yeah, thanks so much for having me. This has been great.
Yeah, this was awesome. All right, everyone. We'll see you next time.